2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, it's Monday the 11th of July and it's National Blueberry Muffin Day. And a big happy birthday to Alicia Cara, Mindy Sterling and Craig Charles. The Tory leadership race continues with Foreign Secretary Liz Truss and relatively unknown MP Rehman Chisti announcing their candidacy late on Sunday night, bringing the total to 11 MPs who all want to be PM. Penny Mordaunt announced her campaign on Sunday afternoon, but it got off to an awkward start with her original launch video featuring images of the late MP Djokov and convicted murderer Oscar Pistorius. The clip was hastily re-edited and released with this comment by Ms Mordaunt at the end of the campaign video.
Our leadership has to change. It needs to become a little less about the leader and a lot more about the ship.
And Tom Tugendhat has also been on the campaign trail. Reflecting on Theresa May's iconic answer, Sky's Sophie Ridge asked the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee a familiar question.
What's the naughtiest thing you've ever done?
Well, I invaded a country once.
Not quite running through a wheat field, is it? Meanwhile, two former Health Secretaries, Sajid Javid and Jeremy Hunt, also joined the race to replace Boris Johnson. Mr Javid challenged his rivals' candidates to open up their tax affairs if they want to become Prime Minister. It's after he admitted he's been non-domiciled for tax purposes in the past. Mr Hunt was hot on his heels, speaking on the BBC, and had this to say.
Well, I'm very happy if I proceed to the final two to publish my tax affairs, if that's what both candidates do. But I'm not going to speak for other candidates, but for myself, I would have no problem doing so.
And in a Sunday night interview on Sky, very recently appointed Chancellor Nadeem Zahawi went one further as he called claims that he was being investigated on tax issues a smear campaign.
I'm going to make a commitment today that if I am Prime Minister, I think the right thing to do is to publish my accounts annually.
With a total of 10 Conservative MPs now in the race to replace Boris Johnson as leader of the Tory party, the competition is heating up. Sky's Sam Coates spoke on Sunday giving his prediction.
It's going to be very, very messy because of the short time scale and the nature of the Conservative Party contest.
Meanwhile, Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper says Labour thinks none of the candidates are up to the job.
I think you've got this chaotic catwalk of contestants now who are all been defending Boris Johnson for the last few years, who've also all been part of 12 years of failed Conservative government.
And after new Education Minister Andrea Jenkins was criticised for raising a middle finger outside Downing Street, Alberto Costa from the Common Standards Committee lays out what he expects of ministers.
I think your listeners can infer very clearly what I'm saying, Chris. You have to be able to evidence that you've upheld the highest standards of integrity if you want to be a minister, and in particular if you want to sit round that cabinet.
Over in Sri Lanka, there looks set to be a change of leadership too. It's after protesters stormed the president's home in Colombo and set the Prime Minister's house on fire, demanding they resign. They blamed the president for the country's economic mismanagement, which has caused shortages of food, fuel and medicine for months. Protesters say they'll continue to occupy the palace until the leaders go. Sky News reported from inside the presidential palace following a night of unrest.
Today, the organisers told that they would accept people coming in the next few days also, because President told he will resign in next few days.
Meanwhile, in Ukraine, the conflict rages on, with at least 15 people dead and dozens injured after Russian missile strikes hit an apartment block in the eastern town of Chasiv Yar. The Chief of Staff to Ukraine's President Andriy Yermak called the strike another terrorist attack and insisted Russia should be designated as a state sponsor of terrorism as a result. Early on Monday morning, civilians were urged to evacuate in advance of a Russian offensive which saw a 6-storey residential building destroyed in Kherson Oblast, southern Ukraine. Maria Avdiva, a director of a Ukraine think tank on foreign policy and security, spoke on Sunday from the centre of another strike, this time in Kharkiv.
Russia is deliberately terrorizing the city every day with rocket strikes, and people are having a very hard time going through this because they never know where the strike will happen next day or next night.
Still to come on the Smart 7, scenes at the Wimbledon men's final, and Taron Egerton remembers Ray Liotta. Right after this. Welcome back.
3.
Novak Djokovic has won his 7th Wimbledon title and 4th in a row by fighting back against Nick Kyrgios on centre court. The Serb won 4 sets, beating Australia's tennis bad boy, who lived up to his reputation by raging at the umpire and demanding an intoxicated fan be thrown out from the front row for heckling him during the final.
Why is she still here? Because she's drunk out of her mind in the first row, speaking to me in the middle of the game. I don't know which one is it. I know exactly which one it is. Tell me. It's the one that looks like she's had about 700 drinks, brother.
Meanwhile, Djokovic didn't have much time to celebrate his win before BBC's Wimbledon queen Sue Barker reminded him of something important.
Your dinner with Nick may have to wait because it is your wedding anniversary.
You keep on reminding me of the things that I would get in big trouble if I forget. So, darling, happy anniversary.
Rocketman star Taron Egerton's been reflecting on the good times filming Blackbird scenes with the late great Ray Liotta. The true crime drama series ended up being Liotta's last completed television role before he passed away in May, aged 67. And the Welsh actor had this to say about one of Hollywood's gangster greats.
Those scenes are very special to me, and they felt special then, actually. And it does lend a sense of the whole thing feeling kind of magical in a very melancholic, sad way.
Is it your lucky day? Doesn't ever seem to be for Sam Greenfield, the star of Apple TV Plus's new movie Luck. She's the unluckiest person in the world, but finds herself somewhere called the Land of Luck with the opportunity to turn it all around. The family film starring Eva Noblezada, Simon Pegg, Jane Fonda and more starts streaming on the 5th of August. But luckily, we've got the official trailer right now.
Humans cannot be here!
Where's here?
The Land of Luck.
I'll leave as soon as you give me another lucky penny.
You best start blending in.
Hello.
Mighty leprechaun Fräulein. Well done, nature.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Dog.